Hi folks, Russ here again having some more Daisy lever gun fun. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to show you a gun I have in progress here. It's almost ready to go to finishing. It's a variation of a Red Ryder, which I think is going to be a whole lot of fun to use because of the differences in weight and also in the way it's gripped. I did one of these similar, not exactly the same, about a year or so ago, and it was a lot of fun. So I thought I'd recreate it and see if anybody was interested in having a good time with it besides myself. What I've done here is taken a Red Ryder and modified, first of all, the stock. If you take a look here, this part of the stock has been skeletonized. I've also cut off the bottom of where that pistol grip assembly is supposed to look like a pistol grip anyway, down on the bottom. And then sanded it up, put a little primer on it so it stands out and you can see where some of the differences are on it. And you can tell this has been skeletonized from a Red Ryder because this section fits exactly in here. And you can still see the Red Ryder logo on it. There. Okay. I wasn't too worried about chopping this one up. You can see the factory didn't get it quite right down in here, and it had some nicks and some wear. So I wasn't really too disturbed if things didn't go right. But it came out pretty well. Also, to be able to get a pistol grip assembly, this is what I've done to the cocking lever. I showed some of these on a prior video, and it gives you a nice hold whenever you're trying to operate the gun. On the front, instead of having the normal wood forearm with that steel saddle ring, what I've done is built a front low stock to be able to hold on to. How's that going to be held on? Well, if you look inside of here, you see there's a channel. It's about 1/4 of an inch wide, maybe a little bit more than 1/4. And I wanted to attach it to the fake magazine on the gun. Well, that was easily done by taking this part of the end of the magazine, dropping it between the jaws of my vise, giving it a hug several times until I came up with the right width, and then in she goes. That's going to be held on with 4 number 6 stove bolts, and I have them pre-drilled in here and on this side. Get a little dolling up on this and then it'll be ready to put on. Another change we're going to make on the Red Ryder cowboy gun, it has that ramped front sight. So what I've done is taken out the front sight and front bushing assembly, and I'm going to replace that with what they call their True Glow, kind of fiber optic-y looking front sight, and that'll help to modernize it a bit. Same loading port, and we're keeping the original attachments for this fake magazine, front and back, to give it some stability so whenever you're holding on to it, it has a lot of strength. One of the other changes that I'm going to make is in the back here. Now, if you'll notice on the Red Ryders, they always have that little staple that holds the saddle ring in. I'm going to retain that staple. I'm not going to try to fill those holes. But instead of a saddle ring, we're going to go with something a little more modern. Excuse me. I'm going to take this nice bright blue carabiner, and we're going to feed that through there somehow, and I'm going to have that hanging on there so that in the event you wanted to hang a piece of equipment or put something on there, maybe your compass, you'll have a mini carabiner. The entire gun, what I've done, this had This was an old original Red Ryder that, well, not real old, but old enough to be having a gloss paint on it. I didn't like the gloss look, especially for a tactical type rifle. So I went with a satin paint on top. We're gonna replace that ramp under the rear sight. And I'm gonna black paint all those other parts that are gonna go onto the rifle. So this one's in progress. There it is, folks. What I'd like you to do is subscribe whenever you get a chance to, whenever you're watching the video. And I'd love to hear from you. If you have any other ideas or if you've done any modifications like this, hey, let us know. Well, this is Russ. Talk to you later.